room for 4 passengers and 2 suitcases. Although found in smaller numbers, larger taxis can allow for up to 5 to 6 passengers and 2 to 4 suitcases, but usually come with slightly higher fees. Introduced in 2017, the Toyota Japan Taxi is now found in large numbers on Japan's streets. With a capacity of 4 passengers, it can alternatively accommodate a wheelchair in place of 3 passengers. How to find a taxi? There are 4 options for finding a taxi in Japan. Option 1. At designated taxi stands which are commonly found in front of railway stations and other landmarks. Option 2. Requesting for a taxi for immediate use by phone or through your hotel concierge or a restaurant. Taxis can also be reserved in advance. Option 3. Flagging a taxi down at a location where it is safe for it to stop. Vacant taxis can be identified with a red plate, and only those will stop to pick up passengers. Option 4. Using a taxi hailing app which allows riders to specify the pickup and drop-off locations in the app stress-free and without any language barrier. Japan's most used taxi hailing app is the Go app, and the Go Taxi network is the largest in the country. In addition to specifying pickup and drop-off locations when using a taxi app, users will also get an approximate fare based on the input locations, the estimated taxi arrival time, as well as be notified when the taxi arrives. Another benefit of using a taxi app is the ability to schedule a taxi in advance for a specific date and time, and to request for a certain type of taxi. Cashless payment is accepted on Go taxis, or alternatively, payment can be made in-app with a pre-registered credit card. Once you've found a taxi, it's time to hop in. Riding a taxi. First thing to note, in Japan, the rear left door of taxis open and close by themselves. You're not supposed to do it yourself except when using a different door. With the address system in Japan being a little confusing even for local Japanese taxi drivers, explaining it would require its own separate video. We recommend writing down the address of your destination, or even better, showing the location you're heading for on a map. This is handy especially if you do not speak Japanese or if your destination is not a well-known spot. When using the Go app, there is no need to stress about communicating your intended destination to the driver, as the drop-off location can be filled out beforehand. A confirmation number is required for verification before getting into the taxi. When it comes to payment, many taxis accept payment by credit cards and IC cards such as Suica and other digital payment methods in addition to cash. If you're using cash to pay for your ride, it is best to avoid paying small amounts with large bills. Note that tipping is not common in Japan. Taxi app users who choose to pay through their registered credit card in the app can simply leave the taxi at the end of the ride, as the final fare is charged to the card automatically. Fares. Fare calculation is almost always by the meter, with a few exceptions on some popular tourist and airport routes where a predetermined fare may be offered. The fare varies depending on the city, company, and taxi type. With a standard-sized taxi, the fare starts typically from 500 yen for the first 1 to 2 kilometers and increases with distance traveled, and by time elapsed when the taxi is not moving or moving at a very slow speed. For example, in smooth traffic conditions, a 10-minute taxi ride from Kyoto Station to Kiyomizu-dera Temple costs roughly 1,500 yen. On top of the standard fare, additional fees like the following may apply. Reserving or calling a taxi often involves an additional fee of a few hundred yen. When riding a taxi during the night between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m., it is good to know that the taxi fare rates are raised by typically 20%. If the taxi uses expressways, the expressway toll fee will be added to the fare. Some operators offer a discount on long trips, typically 10% on trips exceeding 9,000 yen. In popular tourist areas, some taxi companies offer what is known as sightseeing taxis, with a driver doubling as a guide. Though the language barrier might be an issue, there are some taxi drivers with foreign language skills or sightseeing taxi services targeted specifically for foreign tourists. Plans of different durations and rates are available, but typically cost around 20,000 yen for a 3-hour plan. And that was our guide on how to ride taxis in Japan. Thanks for watching. I hope this video has been enjoyable and helped make your trip preparations a little